just sitting with Finn. Say hi, Finn. We're gonna do a recipe. We're doing fresh tomato soup. Now, I'm gonna be using a machine that I've owned for years called a Thermomix. Here's what it looks like. And what's really nice is there's an app on the phone, and you go on and there's like 64,000 recipes. You choose the one that you want. It sends a grocery list to your phone, and it sends the recipe to the Thermomix. So I'm gonna make this, you guys, again, I'm gonna use this machine, but you guys can probably figure a go around, on your own to make it. So here we go. So I'm gonna put the directions well, not the directions, but the ingredient list up for you, okay? So the first thing you do is you turn this, and it says to add a clove of garlic. Well, you know me, I've got the minced garlic. So I'm gonna grab a spoon, and I'm going to put in what I consider to be a clove of garlic. You guys also know, oh God, I love garlic. You press the next button, and it wants 1.5 ounces of yellow onions. So you see where it says tare, and I click that button and that puts it to 0 because it has a built-in scale. So I'm gonna drop in onions till I get to 1.5 ounces because that's what it says it wants. You can go a little over, like right now it's at 1.5, right on the spot. So we're gonna stop. We hit next. It wants me to put the cover on. And now it's telling me to turn this to 5, and it's going to chop the onions. So here we go. Okay, the next instructions are to, scrape down the sides because the onions are up on the top there. And that garlic, you need to scrape it all down into the bottom of the bowl. And then it wants me to add either 1 ounce of olive oil or 1 ounce of unsalted butter. Here's my olive oil. I'm gonna take the top off just to make it easier. It's already at 0. So I'm just gonna pour till it gets to 1 ounce. And there we are, 1 ounce. Then you hit the next button. Put the top on. You want to vent this one, so you put the simmering basket on. And you turn it to 1. Now the point is, it's now cooking the garlic and the onions for the next 3 minutes, but you could saute that in a pan yourself is my point. That's your workaround. Now when that's done, you hear it's dinging at me. Woo! And that's why it has you put the cover on. You tear it again, bring it down to 0, and it wants 24 ounces of tomatoes that have been halved. So I bought fresh tomatoes, took the tops off, cut them in half, and we just drop them in until we get to 24 ounces. I may not have cut enough. Oh, yep, about 1 tomato short. And by the way, I usually get the ones they're literally red on the vine. Tomatoes, they're really good. All right, that is right at 24 ounces right there. Okay, we press next. It wants 2.5 ounces of tomato paste. So I've already opened this. Again, it's tared to 0, so you just drop in. Doesn't matter if you get it a little over. It wants some salt. You guys know how I feel about salting. I'm not salting. It also wants sugar, which I will not be putting in. It wants oregano. Should have pulled this out beforehand. Did you reach into your drawer and pull out the oregano? It's asking for a teaspoon. Then you put the top on. And we're gonna chop it up. Here it goes. And again, you guys can chop that up yourselves in a food processor. You don't have to have, a machine like this. The next thing it wants is 17 ounces of water. I just happen to have the water here. This is not 17 ounces. This is way more than that. So we're just gonna go. I'm gonna show you guys how I make it. And I went little over, but again, that's okay. Now, the next thing it wants is this. This is the Better Than Bouillon. You guys know how much I love this stuff. This is the vegetable one. So you can either use a stock cube or you can use a heaping. I'll put like 2 of these in here. Okay. That's vegetable stock. Okay, then you press to go over. It wants the simmering basket back on top. And now we're going to turn it to, and it's going to cook for 15 minutes. Okay, so it's done. We're coming in towards the end here. Remove the simmering basket. They want 3.5 ounces of heavy whipping cream. So we're going to pour that in. And there we go, 3.5 ounces. I got 4. Then they want some basil. Add a little bit of basil. Then they want some parsley. We add a little bit of parsley. Then we're gonna mix it up. Again, you can do this at home with a food processor. We're gonna start on level 4 and go all the way up to level 8 for 1 minute. So here we go. That's 4. And what we're doing is breaking up the tomatoes, and now we're blending and pureeing what's left, okay? That's 10 seconds. Go up a little bit. Now we're at 5. And we go up a little bit. By the way, you don't have to hold this. I just feel better holding it, just in case. Go up to 7. 7.5. 8. And it gets to the end and it says we're done. Serve warm, it says. So when you lift up the top, it's almost like a bisque. Look at that. Oh, fabulous. I'm not gonna lie, that is some of the best tomato soup you'll ever have. So let me just tell you now, in case you haven't figured it out yet, those machines are ridiculous expensive. And the only reason I got one is because every time you go somewhere in Europe to stay with somebody, you know, my husband's from Germany, all of his friends had one of these. And I was like, I want one. But the power difference was off, European to United States. I know, Finn. And so one day they decided to start selling them in the United States. At the same time, we had flown to Germany and our flight had been delayed and they left us in the airport. Are you ready for this? At our connection for 9 hours. They refunded us $1,400. Guess how much that machine cost? So we'd already paid the money for the flight, so I simply bought that thing. But I've had it now for 6-7 years. I love it. I love it. So here is the tomato soup right off of the app, and all the ingredients are listed. Again, I left out the salt and I left out the sugar. I just feel like that's extra calories and you don't need it anyway. Here are the complete instructions. Obviously mine are different, but you can absolutely adapt it to make it at home without the machine. And here's the rest of the information about the nutrition for it. But the app is great. And by the way, I'm not making money by talking about the Thermomix, just saying, but it really is a fabulous machine. All right, you guys, I hope you try the soup at home. Let me know how it goes. Have a great day.